You're in another country, another continent, super far away from the United States. You're one job away from being poor. So you need to be responsible for yourself, Francois. You can't depend on a country or different people to come and save you. No one else is gonna do it but you. Oh man, I'm having an incredibly great start to my day today. Let me tell you all about it. Yo, the reason why I'm so happy this morning is because I was just thinking about how much Korea has taught me, or not even that Korea has taught me, but how much I've learned about money management while living here in Korea. Okay, some of you might be thinking like, Francois, money management is pretty easy. Like every human or every person who has resources understands how to manage their money well. High school for me was like a really weird time. It wasn't dangerous or anything. Well, sometimes it was. It was just really, really strange because I actually did homeschool when I was in middle school. When I moved back to Atlanta to do high school, I was just like completely caught off guard. Why? Because actually most of the students were like much taller than me, and they acted very different. I was born in Atlanta and I lived in Atlanta until I was about 9. And then I moved to Texas, to Dallas when I was 9, and then I left Dallas when I was about 13 or 14 and went back to Atlanta. So like during my formative years, I had mostly like Texan culture like instilled inside of me. So returning to Georgia, especially Atlanta, was like kind of weird, kind of strange. Yeah, so I'm now in high school in Atlanta. Everyone's taller than me. Everyone's speaking like a lot different than I am. This Southern twang in their speech. And I had that when I was younger, but when I moved to Texas, I lost it. My accents got mixed, so now I don't have any accent. Well, I have a little, but not hardly like any Southern accent or Texan accent. High school was so difficult because everyone was wearing like these designer clothes. And me coming from Texas and being homeschooled, I didn't really know about designer clothes. I didn't know about like Tommy Hilfiger and Nautica and all these brands, and Echo, you know, everything that people used to buy. And I definitely didn't know about like the super high brands like Iceberg. Everyone, even like the uncool kids, were wearing like these designer clothes because they were also trying to fit in with like the it crowd. And it just made me feel that I was missing out on something. So whenever I started working for my grandfather at his mechanic shop, I would always save my money to buy the high-end clothing. I remember I bought a Sean John shirt, I bought an Iceberg shirt, and I don't even know if they were real. They might have been knockoffs. To me, it made me feel good because I was like, okay, now I'm fitting in with the in crowd. Even though I don't have any money left to show for my efforts, I felt good. I felt like I was accepted. And then people at school, they started to recognize me. Oh, Francois, that's a nice shirt. That's a cool hat you have on. And I was like, yeah. Yes, it is. Oh my goodness, I don't know if you can see it, but look at like the street over here, all the trees, different colors. I love that. Gold, red, green, orange, yellow. That's amazing. I love fall. I even remember one summer when I was working like intensely at my grandfather's mechanic shop. I mean, I was working every day from sunup to sundown. And my whole goal was I needed to buy white Air Force Ones for the beginning of the school semester. I wanted to buy like this samurai shirt just so I could look, you know, cool for all of the in-crowd people. I wanted to fit in. I really wanted to show that I was a cool person just like everyone else. And I can never forget this, but one thing my grandfather always taught me was to try to be different. Like he didn't even want me wearing my shirt out of my pants. He always told me to tuck my shirt into my pants, wear a belt. Always tuck your shirt in, always wear a belt. And I hated that because when I went to school, I would see students and my friends with their shirts out of their pants. And I didn't know that he was setting me up with good attributes to help me become a man who's different from the crowd, to live not the same as everyone else, but to paint or pave their own way in life. I amassed so much money. I had like maybe, for me at that time, it was like $400, almost $500. So I bought my shoes, I bought my clothes. Like people were telling me how nice my clothes look after the novelty of the new school year had died down. No one mentioned anything to me about my clothes. And because I spent more time at school than I spent being with my grandfather, it kind of like got stuck in my head that I always needed to have these designer clothes. I always needed to spend all the money that I had in order to make myself look good for people who really didn't care that much about me. At that time, I thought these people were my friends, but in actuality, they weren't. Another instance when I graduated from high school and I started to really work, I got my first paycheck, my first big paycheck, and I didn't save the money. I didn't put the money in an account. I didn't do anything productive with it. I instead went to the mall, and I bought a silver watch and a silver necklace. And to this day, I don't know what happened to that watch or to that necklace. Hell, I don't even know where all of those clothes were from high school that I bought. They just like disappeared off the face of the planet. Fast forward to my time now in Korea, and I still have like this mindset inside of me that I always need to have like these super expensive and fancy clothes in order to, you know, look good for people, to make myself feel appreciated by people that I don't even know. And, you know, looking good, there's nothing wrong with looking good, there's nothing wrong with dressing good, but I think I was doing that for the wrong reason. And also I was spending an incredibly large amount of money on buying all of these clothes and these accessories, and I don't have anything to show for it, nothing at all. So I remember the first month in Korea, I was meeting like new friends from the teaching program that I signed up for. And one of the friends, he was really cool, but like he just surprised me one weekend. He was like, "Francois." I was like, "Yeah." Of course I said yeah. He was like, can I ask you this question? And I was like, sure, you can ask me a question anytime you want. And then he got like really awkward, and I kind of figured that it was going to be something about money, because usually when people want to buy money, they always like say some endearing things to you, or they act very weird before they, you know, try to get the money from you. Like, bro, what's up? Just tell me, spit it out. And he was like, man, Francois. And he started smiling. He was like, is it okay if I borrow 100,000 won? I was like, okay, sure, man, you can borrow the money. I was like, we just got paid, so like, why do you need to borrow the money? He was like, I'm going on a date. And I was like, so you don't have money to go on a date, but we just got paid, you know, whatever, you need the money. It was at that point that I realized like where I was in life. I mean, I really realized where I was in life. And that was in another country, in another continent, super far away from home. And if I needed resources, if I exhausted all of my resources here in this new place, there's no one who could help me. There's no one at all. I would have to depend on friends, or depend on school workers, or people who help me you know, set up my life here in Korea. I was like, I'm truly alone. I'm very alone. And luckily, when I moved to Korea, I was in the countryside for the first couple of years. And in the countryside, there wasn't really this culture of needing to have the very best clothes all the time. So if you're coming to Korea, if you want to move to Korea to live here, to work as an English teacher, because usually most foreigners from native English-speaking countries usually come as an English teacher. If you come as an English teacher, I would highly recommend you starting in the countryside, because if you come directly to Seoul, the mistake that I made is going to happen to you. Seriously, just look at these colors. That's crazy. I love fall. The temperature is perfect today. It's about 22 Celsius. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, so when I moved to Seoul, I kind of got back into the habit of, I mean, I was still saving money, but I got into the habit of thinking that I needed to buy all of these nice clothes, because Seoul is way different than the countryside. Like, Seoul is one of the fashion capitals of the world. And as soon as I came here, I could like visually see it. I could see like the difference between Seoul and the countryside. Like, everyone here, they were like dressed to impress. I even saw like women and some guys, whenever they would leave the apartments just to take out the trash, I mean, they were looking like really nice, like dressed up, had nice makeup and things like that. And I was just like, okay, I'm here in Seoul. I need to do the exact same thing. I need to look nice, so I need nice clothes. Here we are again. I fell back into the trap of thinking that I need to spend so much money on buying all of these expensive clothes to impress people that I don't even know, that I started to go overboard. I bought like so many nice coats. I bought custom jackets, and these aren't like cheap things. These aren't, you know, inexpensive items. Like, custom jacket, custom coat was like 400,000 won, 500,000 won. I bought this long coat that was like, I don't even want to tell you how much it was, but it was pretty expensive. I got to a point where, why am I buying all of these clothes? Like, I can only wear one coat at a time. I can only wear one pair of pants at a time. I don't think I really need all of this stuff. By no means am I saying that I'm broke. I just realized that, wow, I could have spent all of this money on clothes. I could have spent on a trip, or I could have spent on, you know, putting the money into a savings account. I could have put money into my 401k. I could have put, you know, more money into starting a business. I could have done so many things with this money instead of buying useless clothes and buying useless things. It even got to a point here where I was buying so much camera equipment. I had so many cameras. I didn't even use all of the cameras, 4 or 5 cameras. And I can only use one camera at a time. Why do I have all of these cameras? because I thought that I needed to have all these things to impress people. I even had to lend my friend money on a few occasions in order for him to pay his rent here in Korea. And I always thought like, wow, what if that was me? What if that were me? What if I needed, money? I don't want to ask anyone else for money. I don't want to ask my friends, put them in that position, like to make them feel uncomfortable loaning me money. So at this point, I'm like, okay, Francois, something's wrong. Like, really, you're in another country, another continent, super far away from the United States, and you're one job away from being poor, from being broke. Like one job away. Like, what if your job just decides that it wants to cancel your contract? Then your visa goes away, and then you have no way of making money here in Korea. Then you have to scramble to look for another job that you may or may not get here in Korea or in any other place in the world. Like, I had to ask myself the hard question. It's like, Francois, seriously, like what happens if you lose your job? And then where's your income going to come from? Like, you have money, you have savings and things like that, but once your job goes away, all of that money, savings, it also goes away. So, you don't really have as much as you think you have. You might be comfortable, but you could be one job away from, asking a friend to help pay your rent. And that's something that I definitely will not do. So these days I really started paying attention. Well, not just these days, but it's been happening for many years. I just pay very close attention to what I spend my money on. Instead of buying so much camera equipment, I sold all of my cameras except for one. And well, two. I have this camera and I have like a bigger camera that I use for my professional jobs. I sold a lot of my clothes. I don't have so many shoes. I don't have like a lot of junk cluttered in my apartment that I can't use at the same time. Like, you can only wear one pair of shoes, one pair of pants, one shirt, one jacket. You can use one camera at one time. So why do I need multiple of these things? That in and of itself just taught me. You're in Korea and you love Korea, and maybe Korea loves you, but actually Korea is an inanimate object. Korea is not a person. It's not an entity that can help you anytime that you are in trouble. So you need to be responsible for yourself, Francois. You need to be responsible for all of your actions, your spending actions, your social interactions, your relationship actions. All of these are up to you. You need to save yourself, and you can't depend on a country or different people to come and save you. No one else is gonna do it but you. Like, fortunately, I haven't heard any horror stories of foreigners here in Korea who have run out of money and they need monetary assistance, financial assistance, what have you, which is a good thing. But just in case there are some foreigners who are living in Korea or in other countries, and you've kind of like gotten into this funk, or you've gotten into this way of just like spending money in unproductive ways, I think hopefully this video can help you to understand that you're in a different country and you never know what will happen. It's always good to manage your money well. It's always good to live under your means, not to live in an apartment that you pay, double your salary, or excuse me, 2/3 of your salary for, not to spend more on food in a week than you actually need, not to go to the coffee shop every day ordering coffee like 3 or 4 times a week when you only really need one coffee a day or one coffee every 2 or 3 days. Start being able to find ways to save money, because you never know when that money is going to dry out. You never know. Like, there could be another lockdown anytime. I hope someone got some kind of value from this video. If you did, thanks a lot for watching. I hope that everyone is doing well, that you're taking care of yourself, that you're outside enjoying the lovely fall weather wherever you are, that you're also staying hydrated. Francois is thirsty. I actually need to get something to drink. And that you are loving your loved ones wherever they are. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Love you. Stay hydrated. Peace. Oh, perfect.